Hey there, mathematicians, math magicians, and everyone in between. This is the video for you if you have missed the Zoom. So what you're going to need to do is open up your copy of Discovering the Distance Formula. I'll walk you through the first few steps and you will finish slides 3 and 4 on your own. So it says consider the picture of the 2 points C, 6, 7, and D, 9, 11. We are interested in the distance between them. Draw in a line segment CD using the straight edge. We're going to use the line tool. So we go from point C to point D. I'm going to make it just a little bit thicker so it's easier to see, and maybe change the color because I'm extra. Perfect. Draw in and label point E, which is located 3 units right of point C and 4 units down from point D. Add a circle in a text box. So make sure that you are doing this on your doc along with me. So 3 units right from C, 4 down from D. Perfect. I'm going to fill it in. And then I'm going to label point E, so I need to add a text box. And there's point E. Draw in the 2 legs of a right triangle, CDE. Use the line tool, okay? So you're going to grab the line tool, go from C to E, and grab the line tool again, E to C. And again, we can make those lines thicker so that they're easier to see. All right. That is 3 done. So now we need to label CE with its length. That's this one right here. And we'll add a text box. And we can count 1, 2, 3. Line CE is 3 units long. Label DE with its length. Add a text box. So we can count that 1, 2, 3, 4. DE is 4 units long. Label point D with its coordinates. 9, 11. So you'll type that in on yours as well. I'm going to make my text box a little bigger. That bothers me. There we go. All right. Let's see. Using the most important theorem in all of geometry, use the right triangle to determine the length of the hypotenuse. You can either type out your work in here, or you can write it out on paper, draw a picture, and insert it. I'm just going to type it out. So we know that A squared plus, plus B squared equals C squared. We know this, yes? Okay, so we're going to use that to find the length of CD. So we've got A, which we'll call the bottom one CE. We'll call that 3. And B is 4. So then that's 9 plus 16 equals C squared. 25 equals C squared. Well, the square root of 25 is 5. Good gravy. Sorry, guys. C equals 5. So we know that length CD has to be 5. So what is the difference between point C and D? 5. Label point, I think that's supposed to be C with its coordinates. Sorry, label point E with its coordinates, 9, 7. So we're going to have to add a text box. I'm just going to move this one over. I'm on the struggle bus here. Okay. Whew, moving on. Our goal now is to see how to combine the coordinates of the endpoint C, 6, 7, with the endpoints D, 9, 11, to come up with a distance of 5. So first, let's write down only the x coordinates of C and D. X goes first, so point C's x coordinate is 6. Point D's x coordinate is 9. Now it says, notice that the horizontal line CE is 3 units long. How could you combine the two numbers from box K to get your result of 3 on your calculator? Well, I think it's pretty fair to say we could do 9 minus 6, right? Or subtract. I jumped the gun. Over here, we're going to put 9 minus 6. Oh my gosh. And I'm putting parentheses around it because it told me to. So let's write down our y coordinates. Point C y coordinate is 7. Point D's y coordinate is 11. I'm just pulling them from over here. Okay. Notice that the vertical leg DE is 4 units long. How could you combine the two numbers from n to get a result of 4 on your calculator? Well, I know that 11 minus 7 is 4, so I could subtract 11 minus 7, again in parentheses because that's what they want me to do. Rewrite this equation by replacing the 3 with 9 minus 6. Don't simplify it. So this part right here becomes 9 minus 6. And replace the 4 with 11 minus 7. Again, don't simplify. 11 minus 7. Okay. Let's relabel the number for points C and D. Instead of numerals, let's use symbols. We'll call point C point 1 and label it with x1 and y1. So we've got x1 and y1. And then we'll label point D as point 2. This would become x2 and y2. Sorry. I'm struggle bussing. You guys are like, what's new, Miss Corby? I know. I'm the driver of the struggle bus. Okay, so we've labeled those x2, y2. Beautiful. Moving on. We should now be looking at the equation x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared equals d squared, but with numbers in place of x and y. So we're going to, now hold on a second. Let's rewind. Do you guys see how that looks a lot like the Pythagorean theorem? We could call this A and this B and this C. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're just taking the Pythagorean theorem and putting it on a graph. Not so scary. So rewrite the d squared in on the left-hand side and the rest on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go back. We've got that to go here. Okay. Now we know we've got to take the square root of d squared if we want to just find what d is. So simplify. Your equation should begin with d, and it's just going to be this. Okay, so square root of d minus 6 squared plus, 9 minus 6 squared plus 11 minus 7 squared. So let's summarize. The distance formula for the distance between 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2, is just the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. You're finding the distance of the bottom of your triangle and the side of your triangle. That's all you do. Now your job is to finish out question 3 and question 4. Just like we did in the example, rewind this video and watch it as much as you need to.